Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We are here with Alliance War Season 54, Number 5, and AOH has matched up against 4 Loki. So, we did think we had a decent shot at winning this war if we played our best, because while they are a very good alliance, we know that we are capable of having very few deaths. But we are not going to have a good war here, and we are going to lose this war. In fact, not only did we have a bad war, we had our worst war by far of the season. And we died more in this war than we died in wars 2, 3, and 4 added together. We had a really rough start. We died 4 times in our first 50 fights or so, and it just didn't stop from there, and we just really did not perform well, and they did. They did a very good job this war. So we have the team of Shocker, and Stealthy, and Scorpion, and I actually forgot that I had switched to Suicide Masteries to record the Autumn of Agony, I believe it's called, video that I posted, I guess, 2 days before this one. Or no, 1 day before this one. And I had Suicide still turned on, and I didn't realize. So, yeah, we are going to lose a little bit of health on this first fight that we would not have lost. And I did throw 2 SP1s in this matchup. I only did that because of the regen, and I was thinking, you know, if he starts to stack up a little bit of regen, then it's probably best if we go for 2 L1s. And while the person that is doubling my path adds a Wags pre-fight to the next node, we are going to just swap back into our normal mastery setup. We actually do have, I think, one more fight with Shocker left this war, so it was fun to get to use him for a couple wars, but the second fight's going to be by far the harder one. Here we have Longshot. Pretty straightforward fight. I have taken this. The only thing you really need to be careful of is never to trigger Dex in this fight, or at least not while you have a slow up, because on Longshot's personal increased ability accuracy does actually improve the odds of the global unstoppable triggering, which basically means that any time that you trigger it is guaranteed unstoppable when the defender nullifies a buff or a buff ends. So you don't want that to happen, essentially. We did get to throw our L1 here. In hindsight, the way that I ended that light ending combo was really sketchy for the second one, and it would have been safer had I just gone for a dash back and not ended the combo, baited the special, and then ended with a light. But it's okay. And in this fight, we're just going to take it slow. I know that I'm very easily going to be out-damaging the regen, so we're just going to be waiting. We are not going to go for any insane intercepts. We are just going to wait out the unstoppable every single time here. We're trying to bait a dash. I wasn't anticipating that L1. I was waiting for a dash, so I did eat the L1, but it's fine because it barely did any damage to me. And even if there was Pure of Heart up, I wouldn't have taken the damage because the attacker tactic would have prevented it, so there was no risk there. Just a couple potions. But this is the fight that the title is about. Ebb and Flow Intercept Nova. So if you guys have been watching my war videos, I believe I took this in either war 3 or 4 and with Stealthy, and I ended the fight with 96% health. I'm not exaggerating. I ended it with 96%. That's not going to happen in this war. We're going to make multiple mistakes, and we are almost going to die to this fight. So we're trying to go for the intercept early. He's really not having it. We've already tried twice at this point. I have to stop trying or else he'll get auto-blocked if he gets above 75. There, I don't really know what happened. He intercepted, or I intercepted him, and he auto-blocked it, but he didn't trigger parry. But I couldn't dash out in time to not get comboed, and I don't know why that happened, because that's never happened before when I've gotten auto-blocked. But for some reason, I just froze, and like I physically could not dash back. The game would not let me dash back. So I don't know what was going on there, but we did take a little bit of damage. I believe we're also going to eat an L1 in this fight. Not the greatest fight in the world. But at this point, it's going fine, and I'm getting it down. Took me a little bit to get the ebb and flow down. But yeah, there we get auto-blocked. And again, I think it has to do with the fact that Stealth Spidey, his first hit is a double medium. I'm just going to pause it while I explain this. I think it has to be the fact that the medium, which is a double medium, is what's getting auto-blocked. And because the animation takes longer, I don't have time after getting auto-blocked to swipe out. Because both times I got auto-blocked in this fight, I was not able to move, and I was just full comboed. So, and then of course we do end up eating the last hit of the L1 or the last beam, and then we do end up also eating the hit where he lunges at us. Luckily, neither of those hits crit. I think if one or both of them had crit, we would have died in the fight, because at one point I got all the way down to 9%, and then we end the fight with just over 10%. But yeah, that was just very, very interesting interaction right there that I honestly didn't expect, because I don't think this is a matchup I've done very often. The last time I did this matchup, I didn't end up getting my medium auto-blocked a single time, but you know what? It's whatever. Here we have Chavez. This fight is going to get a little bit hairy because we are actually going to get stuck in our corner, and she is going to trigger Unstoppable twice in a row, and I believe it's a 40% chance to trigger on a Dex buff or on any buff expiring, so on Dex expiring. So it was a very low chance that it would happen twice, and unfortunately it did. So here I am trying to get my slow. Luckily, we get a heavy attack out of her. We are able to just remove the zone and get our Fury. But she's going to be removing the slow every single time she dashes at me, so I always have to do a medium and test. And unfortunately there, I should have just parried, but I did trigger Dex, and then look at this. First hit, trigger and Unstoppable, and I'm in the corner. I'm like, okay, I just got to parry. Here, I wanted to get rid of the Dex buff with a special attack, and now we got the precision up. We're going to get our slow up here, trying not to lose it. But when we do have the slow up and we are able to hit her, she is actually dying very fast, which is why right now here I am just going to go for a striker into another combo, and that fight is going to go down. But the back-to-back Unstoppable triggers were very, very unfortunate. And then one of my officers, Nitro, was just in the chat watching me fight, and he said, "Lol, Solo, you're good." But yeah, I got a little hairy there for sure. And now the rest of the war is fine. Nothing insane happens the rest of the war. We still have one fight left that I am worried about, and it's this Shocker. So Shocker on 38. On paper, this was a far harder fight than it ended up being, because Stealthy just nukes, and you don't have to worry that much about what Shocker has going on, because as soon as you knock down for the first time, you're not going to have to worry about anything else. So we throw our L1. We're going to bait 2 L1s before we hit him again, because I know the first L1, he's still going to be at an SP1, and despite the aggression regen, as long as we... the aggression prowess, as long as we just exit, we're going to be absolutely fine. But yeah, we're doing really good damage here. So now that he threw that L1, I do need to intercept. So we are going to hit a nice intercept, I believe, right here with a light. Beautiful. Go for another one. And then here, I believe we just go for the kill. Yeah, which is nice. We should dash back here. Oh, okay. I guess, yeah. If we're close enough and the Fury's not about to expire, then we're free to just kill it like that. But it was nice I was also able to get a Wags free fight there, although in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it actually impacted the fight in any meaningful way. On to the next mini here, we have Node 45 Mysterio. It's actually Karate Mike's Mysterio, and this Mysterio is going to be very easy for Stealthy. It's a very straightforward fight. There's the Conflictor node. The attacker tactic after the first activation of the node is going to reduce the potency of the power gain. However, we just have to be careful we don't push Mysterio to a special 3, although I was double checking here that I did still have an invuln boost going on We are going to need an SP1 boost for our last 2 fights, but just for this one, I wanted to make sure I had an invuln on just to be 100% sure. And here we get the slow up. Here we land a really nice intercept, and I notice that... Oh, what's going on here? Oh, we should have ended that with a light. I don't know why we didn't. Are we going to do it here? Still no. Still no. I don't know what we're doing here. Okay, we still don't have our Fury up or our Precision. There. Okay, there's the Fury. Eat a heavy, because why not? And there's the Precision. Okay, now we are fully ramped. Usually it takes like 10 seconds. Here it took 40 seconds, because I don't know why. But yeah, this is a very easy fight. We are going to be healing literally the entire fight from Hazard Shift, from the armor break on the node, from the power, or from the mist thing. I think it's the power steal, or power drain from Mysterio's L2. Just basically everything in this fight. And yeah, not too much to worry about. Very, very easy fight. I don't really understand this placement here. I think pretty much any decent tactic champion can take that Mysterio, so a bit of a bad placement in my opinion. But I guess that's just because I had a really good counter to it, and it was very, very easy. So we have 2 fights left here. We have this Onslaught on node 47, and while this is obviously a bit of a trickier node for Onslaught, it is still completely fine. There's not really too much going on here. As long as you're good at dexing Onslaught's L1s, you can take this fight slow with Shocker, build up your charges, go for a fat L2 to end the fight, and that's really all it's going to be. And like I said before, we are going to be throwing on an SP1 boost that is going to last for this fight and the next fight. But this is a rank 2 Shocker versus a rank 3 Onslaught, but punching up with a champion like Shocker isn't really that big of a deal, so I personally wouldn't rank 3 him just because I've never been in a scenario where punching up is a problem. And yeah, we do get stunned there, and then again, just trying to bait the L1. I don't really care if I trigger Falter, because the L1 animation is so long that the Falter is basically gone. There, he has a Falter on him, but we're still going to full dex the L1. One time, literally right at the end of this fight, I think I'm going to get hit by the last hit of his L1, because I just badly dexed it, if I recall correctly. Yeah, there. No, not at the end, but one time in the fight. Yeah, and that's the only hit I'm going to take this fight. Want to push him back a little bit here so that he's more likely to throw the L1. And again, the SP1, it is taking half power. Like, it's only costing him half of our power every single time he throws it. And then here he's finally going to throw it. And at this point, I'm so close to L2 that I'm just going to block full combo into L2, and this guy's going to be dead. This is very, very safely going to kill. Looks like we're going to be throwing this with him around 65%. Full ramp, yeah, this is way more than enough. So, very easy fight there. As long as he can dex Onslaught's L1, he's not that much of a problem anywhere on the map, although there are obviously a couple trickier nodes like that, which is basically just a skill check. Can you dex the L1? If so, it's a free solo, which is kind of the way that Onslaught goes on most nodes. But yeah, last fight of the war here, we have a Prowler. Same fight I took last war, and I did mention in the video that I had to take it again this war. This one is going to go a little bit worse than the last one because I'm going to get worse AI, and there's going to be times in this fight where I take a very significant amount of brute force damage. That is going to be the large majority of the damage I take in this fight, and I did learn from my one mistake in the last fight where I threw my L1 before he got to a special attack, which did actually make it harder to bait the first special attack and did lead ultimately to a little bit more brute force damage. But yeah, pretty straightforward. Gonna be baiting heavies when we can. Make sure we don't parry. And as long as we dash back occasionally to pause our slow, the tactic's gonna be turned off. The slow prevents miss, because not all slow in the game prevents miss, but Stealth Spidey's does. So at this point, the fight's going pretty well. In hindsight, right here, if I had instead block baited a special and then comboed, I probably could have killed. But yeah, it's going to be annoying. And here I'm at 83%. He's at 8%. He's just going to dash back until I take brute force damage. Like, why are you doing that, man? And look, here again, he's not finishing his combo. And I went from 83% to 40%. All because he just refused to throw a special or dash at me. So just really annoying AI there at the end of the fight. Just trying to make it a little bit more complicated. Here we're just going to throw in a couple fights from my alt. Titania was not banned this war. So we have a couple fights with her. We're on Path 6, Section 1. We're going to take this Nick Fury with Titania. I did have 4 fights with Titania this war. I had Nick Fury. I had Kushala on the next node, which I'll also show you. I had node 41 Onslaught, which was the root node. And then I also had a rank 3 7-star Enchantress boss with Titania. Neither of those other 2 fights were very interesting, honestly. They're just kind of ideal matchups for Titania. But I wanted to show this off here. This is just bypassing Nick Fury's second life with Titania, which is really cool, and I love to do it when I can. You're going to wait until you trigger the second life, and when you are pushing into the second life, you want to watch the persistent charge and throw your special as soon after it goes from 1 to 0 as possible. So that's what we did right there, and we did fully cancel out the second life because as soon as the L3 animation was over, his regen was stopped, and he just died. So Kushala on the next node, just generic champion on generic node. Really, there's nothing insane here. I just wanted to include a couple interesting fights because I haven't really had anything super interesting. I mean, I did take a... I went Path 6, Section 2 again, because I'm on Path 6 every war, because we don't plan, because we're taking a season off. On the first node, I had Bishop, and I took that with Tigra. It went pretty well. It was like 55 seconds, something like that. The fight went down in 2 L2s. And then on the second node, I had a Sinister, which I took with Ultron, which took about 2 minutes, because Sinister's annoying, and he kept removing my degens whenever he threw special. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to show any more fights. And then the Enchantress boss was just super, super easy. Titania doesn't even counter it in any meaningful way, and it was just an absolute joke. That's going to be it for my War 5. AOH did end up losing the war to for Loki. As I said before, they destroyed us with a final score of 14-1. Again, our worst war of the season by far, and we died more than we did in Wars 2, 3, and 4 combined. But we now have a record of 2-3 on the season. My death total is still at 0. And my PSR for this season is at 34 out of 34 fights soloed, or 100%. And my deathless streak is up to 96 fights, which means that next war, war number 6, if I don't die, I will cross 100. I am going to talk with my officer and make sure I get at least 6 fights. I don't want a super hard war. I just want 6 fights so that I can hit my 100 deathless streak for only the second time in my Alliance War career. And yeah, I just want to get it. It's so close that I'm just... I want it so bad. It's more important to me than a deathless season because it's more impressive, because it's like on average more than a season. It's like 1.5 to 1 2/3 of a season. But yeah, that is going to be all for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next war. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.